Hi friends, welcome to this presentation on tuples. We will discuss what tuples are, see tuples in action, how to create them and use them, and we'll take a look at named tuples. So without further delay, here we go. So what is this object, this data type, tuples, all about in Python? Tuples are immutable sequences. They are like lists, but they cannot be changed. They are generally used to represent a fixed collection of items. Unlike lists that are coded in square brackets, tuples are created by using parentheses. They support arbitrary types, and they do support nesting. Why would you use tuples? Well, frankly, because of their immutability. They are generally used far less than lists, their close cousin, but when the constraint of immutability is warranted, they slide right in. Let's take a look at how we create tuples and some of the things we can do with tuples. We're going to start on the left-hand side. We'll work our way down. Then we'll move over to the right-hand side to finish out the page. So up here at the top, how do we define a tuple? You see I have tup1 as my variable equals empty parentheses. So I have defined an empty tuple. Now if I look and want to print out what the type is, we see that it comes back class tuple as we would expect. Now here, I create a one item tuple. Note the trailing comma is required for single item tuples. This is to disambiguate between defining a tuple or an expression, which is also surrounded by parentheses. So that's why we do it this way. So tup2 equals 9, comma. A 4-item tuple, note you don't need the parentheses technically. It's just probably better to do it that way, but you don't need it. You see I have tup3 and I have mixed types. I have both strings and integers there, and it still works just fine. Next we have nested tuples. We have red velvet and German chocolate inside the cakes parent tuple, if you will, with tup4. Now I can convert or cast a string to a tuple. How do I do that? Tup5 equals tuple, and then inside the parentheses, the string hello, and you see when we print it out, it prints hello. We can index and slice tuples, so we have tuple4, tup4, same as above, cakes, red velvet, German chocolate. If I index tup4 0, it prints out just cakes. And if I do 1 and 1 in the square brackets, it will give me the second position, right, which is 1, which would be red velvet and German chocolate, and then it would give me the second of the two of those, right, because we're always zero-based indexing with Python, so it would be German chocolate if I do tup4, 1 square brackets followed by another 1 in square brackets. We can concatenate, so I can do tup5 plus tup5 plus tup5, and you might remember tup5 was hello, so it just gives me 3 hellos in a row. Create a list from a tuple using list comprehension. So I have tup6 as 25 comma, so a one item tuple. Y equals x to the power of 2 for x in tup6, and when I print y, I get 625. Next, over here to the far right hand side, how can we sort a tuple? So I have tup7 with a bunch of names in it. I can do print sorted tup7, and it sorts them in alphabetical order. I can index tuples, so if I want to know exactly where name Liza is, I can do tup7.index, and it comes back in position 2, which is correct. Mary is 0, John is 1, Liza is 2. I could employ the count method against my tuple, and that's going to tell me how many times a given element appears inside my tuple. So if I do count on 3, it tells me that count appears 5 times. I can convert a dictionary, either its values or its keys, to a tuple. So here I have dict1, name is the key, max is the value, age is the key, 10 is the value, breed is the key, coonhound is the value. So I do a tup9 equals tuple dict1 dot values, and I print it out, and I get max, 10, and coonhound, just the values. I can do the same on the keys, and I get name, age, and breed, just the key. I can convert dictionary to a list of tuples. So x1 equals list dict1 dot items. So I'm using my same dictionary from above. Then I can print x1, and the output is pairs, name and max, age and 10, breed and coonhound. So it truly is a list filled with tuples. Now in the middle, I can test for membership. Tup9 dot underbar underbar contains underbar underbar max, and yes, that comes back true. I can concatenate 2 tuples this way. So I have tup10, 1, 2, and 3, and I can add tup10 to it. So I have max, 10, coonhound, 1, 2, and 3. If you've been following along in the series, you know that in the dictionaries class, we looked at the collections module, Python's built-in collections module. And now we're here to look at another data type from that collections module. So named tuples. This is a tuple alternative, and it's one of the specialized containers from collections. They add the ability to access fields by name instead of just by position index. They are lightweight and require no more memory than regular tuples. Named tuples are especially useful for assigning field names to result tuples returned by the CSV or SQLite 3 modules. So when we get to that, we're going to take a good hard look at this as well. So up here, the upper left-hand corner, let's take a look at our code. This is a named tuple. So first we have to import our module. So from collections, import named tuple. So I have a variable person underscore size equals named tuple, person size in quote, and then in square brackets, X and Y. So now I define Mike. This is almost like an instance of a class. And we haven't gotten to that yet in the series, but if any of you are familiar with this, this is kind of combining some of that functionality. So Mike equals person underscore size, the variable I just created, my name tuple, and I give him values for X and Y. So 6.2 and 196, or 6 foot 2 inches and 196 is what that represents. So then I print Mike's height and Mike's weight. So for height, Mike 0 is going to be the first value, 6.2, and Mike's weight will be Mike 1, and that'll be 196 pounds. And if you look at the code output, follow the red arrow, we'll see that it's exactly what gets printed out. Named tuples have the repr method, REPR, the dunder method, which lists the tuple contents in a name equal value format. So if you see Mike.repr, you'll see that it lists out person underscore size and X equals 6.2 and Y equals 196. The underscore make method allows you to create a new instance of your tuple from an existing sequence. So now, using our same person underscore size, I do Mary equals 5.4.132, so that's a list. And then another variable, Mary underscore H underscore W, standing for height and weight, equals person size, right? Person underscore size dot underscore make Mary. So now when I print out that variable, it does the same exact thing as for Mike. So it's like another instance of this named tuple. So you can see how these could be very valuable, and we'll get into them some more when we get into the CSV module and the database module.